Dexter Resurrection, episode 8, titled The Kill Room Where It Happens. Of course, that is a Hamilton reference. I had all this planned. I had this plan of, like, singing some of the verbs for the song, like, Dexified it. And then I do the whole thing. I have no idea what to joke about with a set. Click, boom, then it happens. Dexter chops it up and threw them in the fire. I don't know. Maybe. So that's the Dexter Hamilton. Who knew we need a Dexter Hamilton crossover? Fuck all the other crossovers. That's the crossover that we need. Of course, this episode is all about Dexter trying to get out. He's trying to get out, the last member of the serial killer gentleman's club that has not yet been killed by the hands of Dexter, or been, at least for Maya's case, being arrested by the hands of Dexter. But meanwhile, you have Batista on his ass because he had a tracker, which I won't lie, it's making, like, knowing where Batista put the tracker, like, knowing where he put it on the passenger back side seat, I'm like, clearly Dexter could have spotted that. Unless he just thought, someone just left their earpods. Because, you could, like, I don't know, put a book there, or a magazine there, or that's where you keep the water. There's a part of me with the tracker, I'm thinking, like, Dexter, like, sis, like, you don't. Also, it's AirPods. They're the whitest thing since a cube. A dice or die, what you want to call it. So in my head, I'm thinking, Dexter could easily just go, oh, what's that? Batista and yoink, and just chucks it overboard. Throws it in the water, you may say. But the rest of the episode I thought was neat. I mean, this is kind of like Dexter showing that he cares about people. He cares about Blessing, because the moment he tells Blessing's daughter, thinking, well, she probably knows about it, and then finds out, oh shit, he doesn't, his family doesn't know about Blessing's horrible past, him being forced into being a child soldier, and forced to do horrible, terrible things. You would naturally, you think, oh, that's natural knowledge, but the moment he realizes that wasn't the case, that he hurt Blessing's feelings, it shows how much, like, does Dexter maybe doesn't, like, I'm wondering if for the next couple episodes, it's a situation where Dexter doesn't want to kill, but he's happy to stare people. Like, maybe. Less Punisher, more Batman. Maybe, because it's interesting. Because we haven't had Dexter just staring the crap out of people. Well, there was that one time. Was it season 4 with the abusive dad? But he just beat the shit out of him and basically, leave. Like, leave the house. Well, he goes and says, like, yeah, you're not gonna pick her stuff. You're gonna call her. You're sick of her fat ass, or whatever the thing. I think season 3, season 4 when that happened. But we never had, like, Dexter putting someone on the table to just stare the shit out of them. Because that's essentially what happens in this episode. Because Al was like, Hamilton, which I don't think Al actually went to Hamilton. He's like, yeah, I left a little mission. Do you know it was, it's all rapping? And, like, I didn't understand what it was. Which I was also surprised. I'm like, really? Hamilton's still a thing? Is it still in New York? Because I keep hearing, like, new stuff in New York. If I was in New York, I probably would happily go to Caraway. Um, yeah, if that probably would be the musical I would probably go see, the cowboy one, because it just looks completely different. And that, but and cool, but yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, Hamilton's still a thing. Probably not as big as it was, but still, like, people go see it. And it's enough to keep the doors open. It's not as big as, say, as Wicked. Wicked would also be another one I would go to. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, um, this me who's seen only half of it in film form and never on stage. That'll be kind of cool. Anyway, but yeah, you know what? I think I know when to Hampton. He's just like, yeah, I'm sure, and throws the phone away. So clearly, what I think is we're gonna find out next week that Charlie and Leon said to Al, "Hey, if Red calls you, bullshit, and throw the phone on, out the window." That's gonna hint that, okay, he's contacting you. Charlie's responsibility, Charlie's theory that Red, aka Dexter's or basically killing everyone off, one by one. Um, and clearly by the end it's hinting that, but I am kind of curious, like, what, like, clearly next week, Dexter is going, like, Leon's gonna find out his name's Dexter, his not name's Red, his Harrison, he's the Bayhard the Butcher. Honestly, and also Harrison's gonna tag along, because in a way it's going to have, like, the museum room, knowing it's a kind of like, knowing that, the hammer of Trinity Killer is there, Dexter's blood slides are there, the table where his uncle, where his father kills his brother, aka his uncle. So in a way, it's kind of, meanwhile having all the other serial killer stuff. I really think it's Leon is going to bring Harrison along and be like, "This is who your dad is, and this is the life that Harrison has that his dad had gone through for the first through the original series, in a more handful thing, like a more like items, if that makes sense. But yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. Leon's gonna treat Dexter like a celebrity. You know, he's gonna treat him like a celebrity. Because if you're a big fan of serial killers, the big ones are the ones you probably would be fanboying the most. So, and that. But yeah, Hanson has a girl. If it feels like everything's going well, but then something in the next two episodes is gonna hit the fan, like really hit the fan. But Quinn showing up in the end. Quinn showing up at the end of the episode. I think it's pretty hinting that. I think it's going to come across as Dexter is so smart and so on point that even if he can never be caught because he's that inch away, and Batista's is going to because the way, Batista's is going to absolutely is going to die by the end in the next 2 episodes. In the next 100 minutes, the next 2 hours, in the final 2 hours, he's going to be gone, because it's kind of like if Dexter becomes your obsession, you're going to pay the price of it, not by the hands of him, but the hands of everyone else. And I'm wondering also, one of the things that didn't work with the New Blood ending is when we have a character who is basically a sociopath, for some reason, as an audience member, we feel if you remind us as this character is a sociopath, or is a serial killer or whatever, we tell you, it kind of, you know what it is? You feel like a party pooper, right? Like, yeah, we know he's a psychopath. We know Dexter's a psychopath. You don't need to remind us that. It's, and you feel like you're punishing the audience for rooting for this guy. And I think that's what happened. So I'm wondering how they're gonna wrap it up. Like, if this is like third act's your charm, like a third act's like, let's bring Dexter back. And let's give this character another finale season. And maybe just do, Original Sin for forever. Or whatever. Or do spin-offs, or I Try Killer, and do spin-offs of this, and spin-off of that, do Trinity Killer, whatever it is. I'm wondering if this Dexter's one of the characters that you can't have an ending to. There's no such thing as a tied bow. Yeah. Maybe it is just a simple Dexter wise into the sunset and we call it a day. That's the ending. But anyway. But I like this episode. I like it. But the next 2 episodes is going to really be interesting. If it is going to be a situation of like everyone's going to find out who Dexter really is. And everyone's going to have this stuff on him. Maybe. Never know. Anyway, comment below. Let me know your thoughts of this episode. I'm probably whamming a lot in this week. But, there's a few things to talk about out through. And, of course, I want to make this entertaining as possible. And so pepper in some jokes here and there. So, anyway, comment below and let me know your thoughts of this episode.